Hi, Jackson.
Hey.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me a little bit about how this all got started. How did you first know that you were sick?
Well, I started out. We was at home one night, and I got out of the shower, and I had a real bad back spasm, and it got to the point where we had to go to the ER, and my back looked like it was just all tense stuff, and it was the worst pain I ever felt in my life. We got to the ER or whatever, and they gave me some morphine. Didn't really know what was wrong, just thought it was a fluke thing. Well, bumped on, I went to work the next day, whatever. And then the next night it hit me again. And it hit me a lot worse. And ended up doing that all through the night. Went back to the ER twice that one night. And they gave me the max amount of morphine they could give me. And they couldn't figure out what was going on. So finally they sent me home and trying to make me do some exercises. They thought it was just a muscle that was stretched or something was wrong with the muscle, and it just wouldn't get any better. And so finally we went back to the ER again, and they drew some blood on me, and they thought that I had a spinal abscess. My fever I had just a little bit of fever, whatever. So then they took me by ambulance from Arkadelphia to CHI. I got up there, they ran a bunch of tests on me. Found out it wasn't a spinal abscess, so then they started treating me for what they thought was tick fever. It was a Thursday or whatever. Tamisha come in. Said, "Hey, I'm Tamisha, Dr. Divers, nurse practitioner, whatever. It's cancer, doctor." And I thought, oh man, She said, "We don't think you got cancer, but we come in, we're gonna do a bone marrow biopsy just to mark it off the list." She said, tomorrow, if everything comes back good, you'll be able to go home. I'm like, perfect. So I'm feeling good at this point. Everything's going good. Friday rolls around, done my bone marrow deal, I ain't talking to nobody. And got my whole family in there. We know we're gonna spend another night. And it's late like usual, Dr. Diver making his loop. And he comes in there, and as soon as he walks through the door, I'll never forget his face. And I just like, man, something ain't right. And he come in, and I said, "Man," I said, "How you doing?" I'm doing all right. I was like, all right. And I remember turning and looking at him. I said, "How bad is it?" He said, "Well," he says, "you got ALL," and he got 60% body or whatever. And I was like, well, I said, all right. And I said, "Tell me how bad it is." I said, "I want to know." I said, "Don't beat around the bush." I said, "I want to know." He said, "Well, if you leave right now," he said, "you'll be dead in 2 months. I was like, well, I said, all right. I said, "You able to get rid of it?" He said, "Yeah, I am." He said, I'll be able to get rid of it."
So this is your mom?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So you were saying about the back spasms, that's kind of a strange way for this to present. What did the doctors tell you about that?
Let's see, I think we went to the emergency room 4 times in that week before his diagnosis, and they kept telling us he had pulled a muscle. It's just a back spasm. They wanted him to do these exercises. And the very last time we were there, I kind of threw a fit. I was like, no, there is something wrong. There is something wrong. And that's when they thought, well, it might be a spinal abscess, and they decided to send him. But I knew something was not right.
So they finally did blood work that last time he was there?
Mm-hmm. And
his white count was high, or?
I don't even know. At that time, all of that stuff was foreign to me. I had no idea what anything on a lab meant. But I was just so glad that they were sending us somewhere to try to get some answers. It was hurting so bad, we had to pull over, and he would throw up from the pain. Oh. He'd never had anything like that.
I'd never had a pain like that in my life.
It was. Friend like that?
No
pain like that?
No, it was insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was your official diagnosis, you say?
ALL.
ALL?
Yes, ma'am. It was a pediatric regimen.
Some type of pediatric?
He was negative for Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah, but he needed what they give the little bitty kids that it's really common with.
Okay.
So it bumped on or whatever, and they told me I had a pediatric type of cancer. So they sent me home that Friday night. I spent the night in my bed. And Sunday, I had to go up to UMS to the ER to get checked in to UMS. I was going to spend 40 days there for my first part of my regimen. So I went and we did the 40 days. I done 7 or 8 spinal taps where they was injecting chemo into my spinal cord. And then I don't even know the number, just regular chemo treatments up there, and then I come home.
So what does your maintenance treatment look like now? If they told you kind of what, is there an endpoint to it? How often?
Yeah, so I got one more methotrexate Wednesday of this week, and then I go back for another bone marrow biopsy the 20th of this month, and then we have Dr. Divers and my doctor at UMS are supposed to form some other little regimen. Yeah, kind of mainly going to be like a pill, and then I'll take the pill for a year and a half, and then after the year and a half, I'm 100% done with it.
100% done.
Yes, ma'am.
Hopefully never to recur.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I thought I was going to have a stem cell transplant, but since all my stuff coming back 100% negative, I didn't have to have one. So that's going to be 100 days in the hospital, and that made me depressed.
Yeah. You feel like you're able to do your normal activities again now?
Yeah, I'm getting back to there. It's I did lose, like I love hunting and love fishing, and I shoot a bow a lot, and it kind of affected my ability to. I can't just get up and go do it. You know, I have to kind of pace myself because I get out of breath a little bit, and I'm having to build my muscles back up, you know, a little bit. But it's, for the most part, it didn't just knock me down when I had to start completely back over. I never completely just stopped, like, and just sat down. Like, I had to stay going, you know, because my mind's my biggest enemy. You know, I had to stay going.
Yeah. I can't imagine having to spend 40 days in the hospital.
Oh, it was
when you're 23.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah.
But you were still hunting in the hospital.
Yeah.
It's a nuisance animal control or whatever, and I work for a guy, and we got these hog traps, and it's all run off the phone or whatever, so I was still trapping while I was in the hospital.
Love that. Did anyone give you any advice throughout the beginning of this period that you feel like was helpful to you in just getting through the day-to-day? You know,
Dr. Divers said, keep your head up, and he just, every time I seen him or something, he's like, you're just that much closer, And I mean, him and Tamisha were like, man,
they didn't act like you were sick.
No, I mean, I go up in Genesis or something, and they just like my mom up there, you know, they call me a little baby. You know? I'm the youngest one in there. Oh man. If I never dreaded coming to get treated, even if I felt bad or anything, because I knew it was gonna be positive when I left out of there. You know, there was
words of encouragement were a big
part. Man, because there were some days I was in there and I was ready to be done with it, and they was just like, I walked down, I feel terrible in there, but they was making me feel great, you know. It was, because I was up there Monday through Friday for a long time, and I didn't like getting up, but I didn't mind going up there, if that makes sense.
So when someone with your new diagnosis, looking backwards, is there anything you would tell them to encourage them or just to help them get through those days?
The days you think it's going to be the slowest, just keep your head up, because it happens. It's over quick. Yeah, I mean, when you're in the moment, like laying in that bed, it doesn't feel like it, but man, get you some Netflix, get you something, keep your mind off of it. Netflix was, you want to know a movie to watch? I guarantee I can tell you one. Ain't nothing I ain't watching.
You're a show to go.
Yes, ma'am.
Bill, how do you feel like this has impacted your relationship with your family?
We had some knockdown drag-outs, and it brought us a lot closer too. There were some days I was ready to pull their hair, and they were ready to pull mine. But it brought us my whole, not just my immediate family, but my whole family. I mean, because we all went through it together. I mean,
but it was a process. I mean, he went through a stage of being real mad.
I was real mad for a while.
Yeah. You know, just that was early on, or after you started the treatment, or?
About the 20th day in the hospital at UMS. It was just like, I was just mentally just drained, like just I was just mad because to be honest with you, my phone was my worst enemy too, because I was looking at Facebook or, Instagram, all my buddies, it's springtime, they're getting ready to turkey hunt and everything else. I'm laid up here pinned to a bed, I can't even, doctor won't even let me walk outside and breathe some fresh air, and I was, all that just,
Trapped.
oh yeah, it's terrible.
How would people support you the best that you felt like was the most helpful for you?
Just a random phone call, or there were some days I didn't feel like answering my phone, but man, there were some people people I didn't even know, just leave me a random voicemail, I'm thinking about you, or I'm praying for you. Just a simple thing, because I know before all this happened, if something was going, I knew something was going on in somebody's life, I was real hesitant to text them because I didn't want to bother them. But from being on the other side, and that's the best thing in the world you can do for somebody. Just a text, hey man, I'm thinking about you. Just a simple little 3-word text, I'm praying for you, or something like that, man. Sometimes just a random phone number come across, you don't even know I'm praying for you. That got me through, might get me through Monday.
And you made the comment that you just loved the certain people that called and never brought up cancer.
Yeah, some people would just call me and just not ask how I'm doing or nothing. They're just like, man, I heard 5 turkeys this morning, or something, I'm big hunter, so that is always I had one guy, he'd call me, he'd be like, man, we cut 10 yards today, or so-and-so happened today, I tore up this lawnmower. I love cutting grass. But yeah, it was just the people that called and didn't bring up what was going on was huge.
Yeah, what's going on?
Anything to keep your mind off of it.
Just to keep your mind off it. I feel like there needs to be some normal times and normal conversations too. You don't want to talk just about cancer either, just because you're going through it.
Yeah. I still got messages that I haven't even read. I mean, the second night I was at the hospital at UAMS, I had 437 text messages on my phone. And my phone just kept blowing up. And I finally just we made a Facebook page or whatever, and finally just had to, if I don't respond to you today, I'll get to you when I get to you.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Is there anything that you wish you had known about cancer or about what you would be going through before you got started?
I mean, not really. I mean, I
feel like people guided you along pretty well.
Yeah, a lot more than I ever expected. I learned a lot more than I wanted to learn through the whole deal, to be real honest with you. But no, not really. I mean, the biggest thing was, for me, is drink Gatorade, something with a lot of electrolytes in it. There were some people, I've heard some people up there at the clinic, they talking about, man, I'm trying to drink all this water and try to stay hydrated. Water was good, and that one Gatorade make a big difference. And sometimes you feel terrible when you drink one Gatorade, it lifts you up a lot. And some people, because I haven't Googled, but I've read and watched YouTube videos of people just drink water, drink water, drink water. No, I'll drink you some with some sugar or something, man. Don't drink no Coke or something. But that's a big thing for me. I wish I'd have known a little bit earlier on, but they told me not to Google nothing, and I didn't really Google nothing, but I YouTubed people going through just or side effects of because I had nausea real bad, and so I do specific things, and then there was I can't remember the name of the deal, but it was real good. It was a woman talking about going through her deal, and her biggest thing was drinking lemon juice, which I didn't try lemon juice, but just juice in general, and then just stuff like that.
Well, I really appreciate you being here to share your story. And
oh yeah.
Anything that you want to share with others before I wrap this up?
Keep God first, keep your head up. That's all I can say.
Keep your head up.
That's it.
I like it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.